Mark 4 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 3 minutes until airtime. Mark 3 minutes until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue comes with 2 minutes until airtime. Mark 2 minutes until airtime here on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime on the Appalachian Sports Network until our Coaches Show broadcast. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues during today's broadcast, please call the Appalachian State Studio Hotline at area code 336-831-0827. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime. Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter any issues during the broadcast, please call the App State Studio Hotline at 336-831-0827. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Appalachian Sports Network.
This is Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge and hosted at River Street Ale House on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly inside scoop on App State basketball. Mountaineer Talk is also brought to you by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Now, to get things started, here's your host, Matt Present.
Happy Monday. Welcome into Mountaineer Talk. We're live at River Street Ale House. It's brought to you by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Loaded show to get to following a big week at home for the App State men's team, beating JMU in front of 8,052 fans, the most in the home center since 2009. So we're excited to bring you that. Justin Abson alongside will kick off the show. Emily Carver will join us later on the women's side. And as always, the head coaches Dustin, Kerns, and Angel Elderkin. If you want to reach us and leave a question for one of our guests, a few avenues to do that here tonight on Twitter, hashtag Mountaineer Talk. You can also email mountaineertalk@gmail.com or on the text line 828-295-2063. Justin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, 8 blocks. We got to start right there. It ties the program record. Did you have any idea during the game what you were working on and how special it was?
Yeah, the first media I probably had about like 3 or 4 blocks, and I was thinking it's gonna be a long night for JMU because they kept going in the paint and challenging me. So I was like, if they're gonna keep challenging me, might as well try to break a record or something.
We talked post game, and it felt like you had a bit of a chip on your shoulder going into that meeting. You guys go up to Harrisonburg. You beat them 2 weeks ago, and it seemed like on their end that folks believed that it was just an off night, and you had other ideas. Just talk me through the mentality going into the second meeting.
Yeah, I saw an interview of the coach saying they just had an off night. That's why they missed a lot of shots. But I feel like as a team, we're pretty good defensively. We're like the best defensive team in the Sun Belt. So we just want to show them it wasn't a fluke.
How much validation do you feel being able to replicate the performance here at home and doing so in front of over 8,000 fans?
It feels good, especially doing it at home. It feels good to do it away, but it feels even better at home and to come out with the win.
All right, we talk a lot about your shot blocking, deservedly so. You're on the top 10 and fifth actually now in terms of career shot blocking, and that's hard for me to fathom. It's just your second year. We haven't finished 2 seasons. You're fifth all time, but continuing to grow on the single season list as well. But moving away from that, where do you feel like you've grown your game in terms of scoring, in terms of rebounding, in terms of everything else that people might not talk as much about?
Just everything on the inside, really. Being a freshman and just a huge different game from high school to college. Just learning how to play against bigger guys, stronger guys, on both ends of the floor. So I just feel like the physicality.
Has shot blocking changed in terms of how you go about it high school to college?
Nah, because my high school coach, Coach Casey, he told me, my defensive presence is what's going to keep me on the floor in college. So I just kept it in mind and just been doing that.
I often see you with assistant coach Bob Zork after shoot-around, and you guys are working on footwork, positioning, keeping that core low. Talk about his work with you and how you've developed in kind of those finer areas in what you do on that low block.
It's a process, really. A lot of fundamental stuff, a lot of footwork stuff, getting better each day. Everything's just taking it little by little.
All right, we talked about that home crowd, and you told folks when we were leaving Harrisonburg, you got to show up and we'll show out for you. What's it like? Did you have any idea what it would be like to have a conference game and for that building to have over 8,000 people?
No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be around Auburn. I feel like it might have been a little bit better than Auburn. So,
what was the anticipation like, knowing that you'd played on national TV before, you'd won a big game already this year? How did the anticipation for JMU compare to Auburn?
I just felt like because my game against Auburn, I was like, it can't be much worse because I fouled out. So I was like, playing on national TV again, you got to step it up. So, yeah.
All right, midway through the season, you made a change, not to your game, but to your look. Can we talk about the haircut?
Yeah, so my freshman year, my teammate Tyree Boykin told me it's going to be time for a big boy haircut. And I was like, nah, bro, I like my hair. And then going to my sophomore year, I was like, I can go for a change. And I'm liking it, so.
You said it was the first time since 8th grade?
Yeah.
Did it take a little while to get used to? Maybe a little less shampoo?
Yeah, it took me a little bit to get used to it, I'm not going to lie.
All right, off the court, when you're not focused on basketball, what is it that you enjoy doing here in Boone?
I don't know. I just be playing, like, the video games with my teammates a lot. So
Which ones?
We be playing 2K sometimes, Madden a little bit.
All right.
Playing Miles Tate in MLB.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's the best on the team at 2K?
I probably gotta go Don.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about in the classroom? What are you studying?
I'm an accountant right now.
What are you hoping to accomplish, whether it's, soon after whether it's managing your own finances while you continue to play basketball down the road. What is it about accounting and money management that interests you?
It was really going to my senior year. I really didn't know what I want to major in, and I was talking to my economics teacher, and he was just throwing me ideas, and accounting is one of the ideas he threw to me. It was just interesting, so I was like, yeah, I want to do that.
You've been active on your social media accounts with the 3333 Collective, with NIL opportunities here at App State. What has that opened your eyes to, just in terms of how you can market yourself while you're in college and the opportunities that affords you?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Just what has it been like exploring this new NIL space? Because it's relatively new, not only for you, the player, but for businesses interested. What has it been like working on those relationships?
It helps grow your network, really, because you never know who you can run into and how they can help you down the line. So,
something that you and your teammates and everyone around this team talked about coming into the season was an improved conditioning. You played 38 minutes, 39 minutes at Oregon State. I don't know that that's something you could have done when you walked in the gym your first year here. Just speak to the work of Connor Agnew and yourself over the summer that allowed you to take that big step forward and be out there for those kind of minutes.
Man, he pushes us, man. I'm not going to lie. Some of the workouts be rough, but, he makes it enjoyable. And, he wants us to be great, so he puts a lot of time and effort into us. So.
Give us a sense. What does he have you do in the summer?
We do this thing called Pro Time, and this is last drill. You had to do it down and back in 11 seconds for, I think it's about like 3 minutes straight. And that was probably one of the worst ones, I'm not going to lie.
Memorable for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, Justin, it's been so much fun to watch you this season. Congrats on another big game and a big win on Saturday, and let's keep it rolling on the road this week.
Sounds good.
Justin Abson kicking off the show tonight here on Mountaineer Talk. We're just getting started. Head coach Dustin Kerns joins us next. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues after this from Learfield.
Covering App State University wireless service in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts, in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
App State's top-ranked online MBA is designed for you. It's a flexible, accredited part-time program that works with your busy schedule and allows you to earn your MBA in 2 years. Learn online from the same faculty who teach on campus with the unmatched personalized interaction and support we're known for at Appalachian. Your App State MBA is within reach, wherever you are in life. Take the next step. Apply by July 1st. At onlinemba.appstate.edu.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. We're live at River Street Ale House and wherever you may be listening to us as well. Thanks so much for joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. Dustin Kerns joining the show now. His comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. Coach, a big week, big wins, continuing here at home, 6 in a row now for your team. You're 17-4 this season, 8-1 in Sun Belt play. We await the results of this week's mid-major poll, but 6th last week. And now it comes on the heels of a sellout crowd. You guys are now receiving votes in this week's coaches polls and the AP Top 25. Just how would you describe the way that your program has continued to elevate its perception, not only here in Boone, but nationally this season?
Yeah, I just think it's a great testament to, the work that our players and staff and administration have put in. I think that we've had a really good season. We've got really big wins. And so this is just something else that, to raise the program. But it's not going to be our focus.
You talk about big wins. You beat JMU on Saturday, sweep the season series. The guy we just talked to, Justin Abson, a big part of that. What has he meant to the way you play defense this season?
Well, Justin Abson, I think, was incredible on Saturday. He's had some big games, but, I was watching the film. I had him for 8 blocks with 16 minutes to play. And because I'm sitting there thinking this guy had more than 8 blocks, but if he had 8 blocks, he probably altered 10 more. But we have the number 1 shot blocking team in the entire country. Justin's number 3 in the country by himself. And so we have the 2nd ranked defense in the country behind the Houston. He's a huge part of that. And certainly offensively, we've actually gone to him the first play of the game for, a few games here. And, we're able to throw it to him on the block more. But certainly a defensive, he's more than a defensive presence.
That made me think of something. We're watching the NFL playoffs these days as well. Teams talk about scripting their first drive. You talk about going to him on the first play. How much are you able to script how you start games?
Yeah, we've done that some games. Some games we haven't, but certainly the last few games we've ran our first play to get the ball to him on the block, go inside. I think it was Georgia Southern. He got a play and got a nice jump hook there to start the game. But certainly he's a big part of what we do. I also want to compliment him off the court. Tremendous student. He's over a 3.0. He's been over a 3.0 now for several semesters. He's a great reflection of his mother, Cheryl McDonough. She did a wonderful job raising him. Just an overall great representative of our program, our university, on and off the court.
Let's talk about your recruitment of him, because the nature of recruiting is you're tasked with trying to project forward what a skill set's going to look like at the next level. What do you remember about seeing him, and how did you envision it translating? Because I would imagine that no matter how impressed you were then, you didn't see him being 5th all-time in shot blocking a year and a half in.
Well, he was one of the top shot blockers on EYBL. But when Frank Young brought me his film in the spring, I don't try to make a lot of emotional decisions in certainly recruiting. But after I watched his film, I immediately called and offered him. Whether we got on a Zoom, and then went down and saw him. He was playing in a high school event in June. His team from Florida came up. But I'll tell you this. I'll just summarize our recruitment with him like this. September 9th is always the very first day the NCAA coaches are allowed to go visit with prospective student athletes and their families at their school or their home. Okay, September the 9th, first day. So as a school and a coaching staff, where you go on September 9th is a big deal. Now, you could also go 4 different directions. You can all go 4 different ways and try to, keep guys warm or whatever like that. Our entire coaching staff flew to Florida to see Justin Abson on the very first day, if that tells you how that was. And then I, as the head coach, I flew down again a couple weeks later, and that was after the visit and all that. But, he was the number 1 guy we wanted, and he's been great. He's just a great fit. I think for us and the player, you got to find the best fit. He's a great fit for us, and feel like, we're a great fit for him.
You talk about that recruiting, and obviously a really special guy that demands your entire staff be there. But in terms of the day in and day out of it, how do you go about divvying up where your assistants go and how you break it down, whether it be by position, geographically? How does that work?
It just varies. It varies. There's not every time. We obviously can't always go the entire coaching staff. You got to be really, really selective, because on that day, there's a lot of recruits you're not visiting. But we went all in, and he probably remembers this too. But we drove all the way up the mountain here and sent him a video from our entire staff shouting from the mountain how much we wanted Justin Abson. And thank goodness he's a Mountaineer, and he's great. He keeps getting better and better. But I think he's really established himself as a really top player in the Sun Belt. But he's also a guy I think people are fearing. And you can see it. People are going there and try to attack him. He's on the ball, he's off the ball, but he is protecting the rim, and but also offensively doing some great stuff. We play through him a lot. You probably see him with the ball at the top of the key a lot. He's a connector for us offensively. He's a big part of what we do.
Well, that leads me to my next question, right? We spend so much focus on the defensive end. There are not many bigs that can pass the way he can. How much does that stand out to you, and what does it do for the rest of the offense?
That was a big, probably part of the thing in recruiting him, because we like to play through our bigs a lot, and we love, skilled bigs that can pass and score, and certainly he's an exceptional passer. Like I said, that's why we play through him a lot. And that's why he's got the ball and connecting the offense at the top of the key for us. He's got a great IQ. He understands the game. He sees the game, it just keeps getting better and better.
Absolutely.
He put a show on Saturday, though. I'm telling you, that was incredible and fun to watch. The only reason he came out on Saturday is he just needed a break. That was it. It was when you want to go back in here. We had to have him on the floor.
Yeah, he was great. The team was great. Big win, and we'll get to it more coming up after this. We got to take a break. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues right after this from Learfield.
Flavor to the next level. A zero sugar cola has never tasted this good, but we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test, starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best zero sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine, and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
It's game day, a day where great food, friends, and family always come together. And bringing people together is what Harris Teeter is all about. We make sure you have the best and most delicious game day foods. Whether you're heading to the arena or making your own tailgate at home, Harris Teeter is always game day ready. And you can save big on your game day celebration just by joining EVIC. Sign up today and save hundreds of dollars per month on the items you love most. Harris Teeter, let's game day together.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Dustin Kerns alongside as we continue talking App State men's basketball, and we continue with that big win over JMU on Saturday, which saw the third largest crowd in home center history, over 8,000. When you got here to now, could you envision the building the way it was on Saturday night when you first took the job and coached your first game?
Coach, my first. I mean, I did envision that we would fill it up, okay, and I did feel like we would get those black tarp off the top, which that was part of your. I did envision. I didn't know when it would happen, but I knew we would get it done. But I thought that, for the largest crowd in home center history, North Carolina opener, Steph Curry, Davidson, Auburn, and now James Madison. So 2 of the 4 this year. I thought that if you really go back, maybe 3 of those 4 were more maybe to see North Carolina, Auburn, Steph Curry. I really felt like what was special about Saturday night was it was about App State. It was about supporting our team and what they've done, and that was one thing that was really special about it. I thought it was the best one. I thought our crowd was way better than the Auburn experience. Our students, our community were unbelievable, and the cherry on top was on ESPN2 national television again. We had a lot of recruits watching, a lot of parents, recruits, a lot of AAU coaches. It was great for us from a recruiting standpoint to see that atmosphere. We had a lot of recruits in the stands, and so it was a great night that I really felt like was about App State.
I couldn't agree more. It was phenomenal, and it was amazing to see not only that raw number and the size of the crowd and the noise they made, but to see the investment. I mean, they were lined up an hour and a half, 2 hours at minimum just to get in, and then making noise, signs in the air, standing, watching the entirety of warm-ups. And you talk about building culture on the court, but I also think there's an important component of building the culture around the program, off the court, and building the fan base to where people want to line up hours before the game, and I would think that touched you in a certain way.
Yeah, we were eating pregame meal 2 o'clock, 4 hours before, and someone came and said, hey, there's already students lined up. I had to go see for myself 4 hours before the game, and so there was about 60 students already lined up, and so I spent some time with them out there, and that was really cool to see and experience. And, the exciting part is we've got a lot more home games. We can continue to have that kind of atmosphere, especially it's about seeing App State play.
Got a question on Twitter from Aikman Chambers, who wants to know how the energy of the crowd raises your energy coaching on the sideline.
It actually makes me more calm.
Really?
Yeah. If if you can see there, because I know that the energy in the crowd is going to continue to elevate our guys' play. I know it's going to hurt the opponent, and so it's actually helped so much that it just kind of calms you down. So that's how much it helps.
Your team now at 17 wins, off to a tremendous start, best here in Boone since the 1988-89 season. Through your coaching career, you've been at some pretty successful programs. 20 wins at Presbyterian as a head coach, 20 at Wofford, up to 28 as an assistant, 26 wins at Santa Clara. As you think back to those different teams that have won 20-plus games, just because that's such a college basketball benchmark, is there a common characteristic that you see in this year's group?
Yeah, there are some, and I think this group's different in a good way. That's a compliment. I think that, like the 28-win team we had at Wofford that went 16-2 and was a 12 seed, and, just a true love for one another, a true unselfish, truly about the team, which is rare. I think that stuff's easier said. Sometimes it can be lip service, hey, we're all about the team. This group's all about the team, and you can see them cheering for one another. You could see them celebrating each other's success, and then the way that we share the ball, and then defending the ultimate team defense is unselfishness, right? That you're willing to, help your teammate out and really play defense for one another. This group's different in a good way. Certainly we've got a lot more ball ahead, but certainly I think some of those reasons are why we're off to a really, really great start.
You talk about the road ahead, and I'm sure it's a lot more fun to coach winning basketball than the alternative, but I also think there's probably a challenge to some degree in not letting big wins detract from the focus on what's next. This week, you guys are on the road at Georgia State and Georgia Southern. What are the challenges of having a team that is consistently winning and still trying to get them to focus on that very next game?
Well, you just got to stay in the moment and truly, take a day at a time. I've challenged them to be different and not be normal. The normal thing to do is to get caught up in all the hype and to get, caught up in all the rankings and all that. That's the normal thing to do. And I've certainly challenged them to not be normal. We don't want to be normal. We want to be different. And so the different thing to do is to block all that out. Let's focus on today, which we went out and had a good practice today. We'll hit the reset button and get there, tomorrow, and just staying in the moment. I think that they're kids, they're human, but we've got great kids, and I think that's one of the reasons we've been able to, certainly maintain success to this point. And I think winning 15 out of the last 17 games and have some really big meet the moments, right? Like. We had Auburn, who was just ranked 8th last week here. We met the moment. We led for 30 minutes. We played James Madison. We've played a lot of really good teams in the Sun Belt, but James Madison, quote, twice, and I think we led for 75 of the 80 minutes. And so we met the moment, right? And so challenge our guys to continue to meet the moment and be different.
Last one for you. I don't know how many people here watched the ESPN2 broadcast. I think a lot of people were at the game, but I went back and watched some of it, and something that the announcers focused on early was your walkthrough ritual and how you set up the chairs at midcourt. And I guess I haven't been around enough different programs to know how unique that is, but just if you could shed some light on why that is your philosophy and how you go about your walkthroughs.
Yeah, it's we set up chairs so our guys can sit. You're arguably more focused when you're sitting down, and so, but you're also, their chairs are spaced apart, so you really don't have any other thing to do besides sit there and just focus in on when you're not repping through the opponent's plays or whatever we may be going through. And so it's a little bit of a focus thing, but it's we found success with it. Apparently, obviously, I don't think a lot of teams do that, and we're okay with that. But it just works for us. And, I just think it goes back to just a level of focus. You really have no other choice. You're sitting there in a chair. We space them across mid-court, and you've got no other choice but to just kind of sit there and lock in for 15 minutes.
Certainly been working, Coach. Appreciate the time as always, and let's continue that success on the road this week. Georgia State Thursday, and then at Georgia Southern on Saturday.
Well, 2 big road games against two teams that we had some good games against. Thanks for everybody that came out to the Ale House. It's great to be back out and at the Ale House, and so many great fans continue to come out. 2 of my favorite Mountaineers, Brittany and Riggs, in the house. So, certainly, glad to be back and see so many familiar faces.
Let's keep it rolling. Appreciate it.
Go Mountaineers, take the stairs.
That's head coach Dustin Kerns joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We will flip the switch to the women's team when we come back right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues next from Learfield.
A winning team in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is an App State alumni-owned full-service geotechnical engineering, environmental, construction materials testing, and special inspections consulting firm based in Hickory. Maintaining pace with the latest technology and developments allows us to provide cost-effective services. The high number of returning clients reflect their confidence in our staff and our ability to provide quality results. Visit us at cvet.net to learn more. Catawba Valley Engineering and Testing is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
We'll have more Mountaineer talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
What does it mean to be first for teaching? First, we listen. First, we engage. First, we recognize potential. You have what it takes: the drive, the smarts, and the heart to be the kind of educator who changes and inspires lives. 2 million kids are waiting for you, but first, your journey starts right here. Be first. Be an App State teacher. Learn more at firstteach.appstate.edu.
Serving the High Country for over 40 years, Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is the #1 independent firm in the region. Blue Ridge Realty delivers exceptional results, handling a full range of real estate services, including sales, rentals, management, and development. Selling or buying? Put our trusted team to work for you. Reach us at 877-962-1986 and at BlueRidgeRealty.net. Blue Ridge Realty and Investments is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
We continue here on Mountaineer Talk, live at River Street Ale House. Thanks so much to everyone joining us here in person or wherever you may be listening to us tonight. Hey Mountaineers, App State's nationally recognized MBA will put you on a path to become a leader in global business. Earn your App State MBA on campus or online. Check it out at mba.appstate.edu. Shifting gears to the women's side, Emily Carver joins us now. Emily, you're not only back with us here on the show, but back healthy. I'm sure it feels good after missing 8 games.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's hard to sit on the sidelines and know that you could be doing more for the team. I mean, I was trying to be the biggest cheerleader I could be, but it feels better to be able to be out there and help the team in better ways.
You got off to a really strong start this season. You had a couple near 30-point games against the College of Charleston and Richmond. What was it that was working for you early on in the year?
I think my confidence, just knowing that my coaches have confidence in me, my teammates had a lot of confidence in me, and then just trying to have a next play mentality. Like if my shot wasn't on, then I needed to be crashing the boards or trying to get stops on defense, just trying to do whatever I could.
So you go through that stretch of playing just top of your game basketball, and then you get hurt. What does it take? What is the process, both mentally and physically, for you to get back out there this past week?
It was really hard. I mean, I did feel like I was at my peak playing my best basketball, and then it's not like it was an injury that happened in the middle of the game, like it was building up. So then it was just, I found out one day before practice, and I knew I had to get back out there and show my team that I still had confidence in them, and then just do a lot of work on the sides, like all the stuff that my strength coach had me doing, the nutritionist, all of that.
All right, you talk a little bit about them. We'll give them some glow here, right? Connor Agnew, strength coach, Tess McCain, nutritionist, Madison Lewis, your athletic trainer. What did they pour into you during this stretch?
I just feel like they did really well with working together, like telling me what I needed to do every day, the process, and how long it was probably going to take, and then just honestly being there for me every day. Like obviously there was highs, there was lows, but just being there for me and supporting me the whole way.
What did you learn about yourself during that process?
I learned that I probably needed to be more of a vocal leader. When I'm on the court, I can just show what I want my team to do and just try to get them to follow me. But on the sideline, obviously, I can't do that. So I was just trying to learn how to be more of a vocal leader on the sideline for them.
Does that translate now onto the floor?
I'm trying.
Yeah, getting there?
Yeah.
We talk about the season that you're off to, and it's not just the scoring, but every year your numbers have continued to improve, whether it's shooting, whether it's rebounding. Just speak to the way in which each season here, you're now a junior, so each of your 3 years, you've just gotten a little bit better at all these different areas.
Yeah, I just feel like at the end of each season, I sit down with Coach Angel and my position coach, Coach Alex, and we just figure out what's one thing I can get better at in that off season. And I feel like each year I've just really focused on that one thing, and then when I add that to the rest of my game, it's just helping me build on it each year.
What was that this past year?
Like floaters and like my mid-range game.
So how have you gone about that process, right? Because I feel like you come into college and you're a really comfortable shooter, but in order to be a great shooter, you need to kind of have that counter move, right? So how have you rounded out your game in that way?
I think just finding what works for me. Like me and Coach Alex have looked at a few different moves and just different things like that, and just really finding what works well for me and what I'm going to be most confident with out on the court.
Those games where you're up over 20 points, inching your way towards 30, you're shooting the ball really well, of course. What is that kind of locked-in feel? Can you describe that zone you're in when 5 and 6 threes are going through for you?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really like try to stay super locked in and like in my head. I feel like when I'm playing my best basketball and I'm playing those kind of games, I'm really like free and just not really thinking about it. Like when I'm about to shoot the ball, I'm not thinking about anything. I just let it go.
You say you're not a vocal leader on the court. How do your teammates know to get you the ball on those type of nights?
I mean, I'll call for the ball. It's more like just like learning how to lead them like in huddles and stuff like that. But more like in the playing section, yeah, I call for the ball.
Okay. Where do you feel like this team has grown from the summer workouts through the early fall to now midway through conference play? What stands out about this group and where you guys have grown the most?
I feel like we're really learning each other and how each other's going to play, and I feel like we're still working on that. And so I feel like every time we step out on the court, practice at the game, we're trying to learn how each person is going to play and how we're going to step out there every night and what we're going to do.
Off the court, what is it that you spend your time doing here in Boone?
I don't do much. I spend a lot of time in my apartment, just chilling because, we do a lot of practice and games and all that. So then I just try to work on my recovery and sleeping and stuff like that.
Dive a little bit deeper into those things. Recovery, sleep, nutrition. How have you learned? Because I would imagine that's not a huge focus a few years ago at the high school level. What are those little things that you've learned here in college to help you be at your best consistently and especially through a long conference season?
Yeah, I think especially in Sunbelt play, it's really important to focus in on that when you have such a quick turnaround. Like this week, we play Saturday, and then we play again on Wednesday. So you just have to really focus on make sure you're getting your sleep every night and you're hydrated and getting your nutrition in. And then especially with me being hurt, I'm trying to really focus on keeping my body really, my calves, everything else around it, really stretched out and rehabbed.
How about in the classroom? What are you studying here at App State?
I'm a public health major.
What does that look like? Do you have aspirations in that field?
Yeah, so I want to go into pharmaceutical sales after college.
Okay. Where did that interest come from?
I'm not really sure. I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field, and then I have a couple friends back home that are in the pharmaceutical sales area, and I've seen how they kind of work, and I was really interested in that.
Okay. I'll leave you with this. You talk about the team growing this year, learning each other's games, kind of figuring everything out. When you guys are playing your best basketball down the stretch in conference play, what is that identity? What does success look like for this group?
Well, I'm sure you've heard from everybody that's on here, but we talk about our pace and our pressure, and I feel like that's something that we need to remember night in and night out that we're going to do. And then I just feel like sharing the basketball. Some of our best basketball is when we're getting stops on defense and then going and translating and sharing the ball on offense.
Emily, good to have you back in the lineup.
Thank you.
Appreciate the fact that you've joined us tonight, and it's good to have you healthy again and continue to play well the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Emily Carver joining us here tonight on Mountaineer Talk. We'll take a timeout, come back with head coach Angel Elderkin right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues after these messages from Learfield.
Covering App State wireless service in the area. With Carolina West Wireless, Mountaineers get the most reliable coverage on campus and across the country with our high-speed nationwide network. We have all the latest devices you want, including Apple and Samsung. We're so confident in the experience you'll have with us, we're offering a 30-day risk-free trial. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless provider of the Mountaineers. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
You've already come to know UNC Health Blue Ridge as the home of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
It's never lost on Window World that your home is your largest physical investment. Window World's integrity will be noticed from your very first contact. The clean, professional installation of premium windows, siding, doors, and more are designed to last while leaving your home looking amazing. Window World and their lifetime warranty will always be there when it really matters. They are America's most trusted remodeler and the official exterior remodeler of App State Athletics, because the difference is integrity and always in the details.
More and more Mountaineer fans are choosing to go modern at Modern Ford of Boone. When you buy with Go Modern, you can choose your vehicle, value your trade, pick your payments, apply for credit, even complete your entire purchase online, or just do the parts you want and pick up where you left off at the dealership. Go Modern puts you in control so you can buy where you want, when you want, and how you want. For your next vehicle, go modern. Get started at modernfordofboone.com. Proud supporter of App State Athletics.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Thanks for joining us here on this Monday evening from River Street Ale House or wherever you may be watching or listening. Head coach Angel Elderkin alongside. And coach, we were just talking with Emily Carver. And I would imagine having a player of her caliber out of the lineup for 8 games is challenging. What was that stretch like, and what was it like to see her in this new vocal leadership role that she talked about on the bench?
Yeah, so I guess I'll tackle question 1. Like Emily alluded to, we played a really great game down at Marquette, and we didn't know that Emily was hurt. And then we come back, and you think there's this momentum, and then we don't have her. And my first reaction was kind of like, oh boy, how are we going to make up for? I think people, I told the team this, I tell Emily this, everybody looks at how you're going to make up for 15 points a game. But what people don't understand is that Emily's an elite defender. She does exactly what we need her to do. She denies catches, she guards the ball, she rebounds the ball. And so everybody wants to take up for her scoring, but that was a piece that I really missed in terms of matching up. And then secondly, what was your second question? I'm sorry.
Well, that's my bad for asking you 2 at once. Let's separate the second one for a second and follow up on the first. You talk about all the different things that she does. What did you have to change to still be able to play well in that stretch without her?
We had to ask more from everybody, and it was just like a team effort. No one was going to come in and be Emily Carver. But what we could do as a team is, collectively make up for what she brings on the court. And we didn't really change too much from the X's and O's. It was just, some players had a little bit longer of a leash. They were able to gain some confidence during that time. But to go to your second question, it just came to me because Emily talked about leadership. So when she was out, if anybody noticed, we put her right up with the coaches. And that was very intentional. Because we wanted her to kind of be in the mix and get her to understand how hard leadership is. She's so natural in terms of she can show it on the court. If the game's on the line, she can go get a bucket. Like she said, she'll call for the ball, but she's not very vocal in other ways. And so having her up there with me, she was able to go back in huddles and understand all right, Coach Angel is not really happy with our rebounding. During this media, let me talk to the team about rebounding. And so I think she got a really good lens, and she really grew in her leadership. And I think once she gets her feet under her, no pun intended, but we brought her back this week, and she's still feeling it out a little bit. And I know she's going to get back to where she was, but I think right now her focus is on her, and I want it to be there. And then I think as she continues to get better and get comfortable, I think her leadership is only going to get continue to be better than it was before she got hurt.
What's the challenge of then integrating, whether it's Emily or whoever it is, a player back from injury, not only in terms of the managing minutes, but also you become accustomed, not that your team is better without her by any means, but you become accustomed to whether it's the substitution patterns or the lineups that you have on the court. What's the readjustment period back to having her back in the lineup?
Yeah, that's a great question because Emily knows this. I was stressed out. Like, she comes back and it's like, you have to have a minute restriction. And I'm like, okay, but what does that look like? If I want Emily in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line, like, I want to play her, and I don't want it to be like, well, you went over your 20 minutes, Angel. And so I was very, and she probably knows this, we kind of followed it for Old Dominion, and I don't think we followed it too well for JMU. And she doesn't like to be out, and so if I turn, she's just going. Like, I don't even have to say, Emily, I just look at her, and she's, like, sprinting to the table. And I also had to put her in different positions this weekend that we weren't, we didn't necessarily prepare for, but, like, she's just the type of kid who wants to help the team. So I will be very vulnerable and transparent that Thursday was really difficult for me trying to be on a minute restriction. That was the first time I've encountered that. And so it's an area of growth for myself.
She talked about meeting with you and your staff in the off season and trying to every year get a little bit better at a different area. How would you describe where her growth has been over the course of her college career?
In recruiting Emily, we knew that she was going to be an elite scorer. And I say the word scorer because I know she doesn't want to be boxed into a shooter. I mean, how about her first shot at Old Dominion? Hadn't played in however many games and just sprayed that thing. The first day she steps out of practice, she hadn't practiced with us. First 3 shots were didn't even hit the rim. So we always knew that she could shoot it. But one thing that wasn't natural to her was defense. And so her freshman year, she worked really hard at becoming a really good defender. And I think what impressed me the most about her this season was her ability to go off the bounce. So in our first few games, she wasn't even knocking down threes. She was taking people to the rim. And I think that's her not wanting to be just a shooter. That's her wanting to be the best scorer that she can be. And she's worked at it, and she follows my philosophy. I want threes and I want layups, and she probably has the most efficient field goal percentage on our team because she sticks to the paint in the three-point line.
And I would think having 2 players on your team that are liable to go for 30 points is a nice luxury.
It is. I don't know. Batman, Robin, Batman. I don't know. It really is. And honestly, that's never their intention. I just think that they want to win.
All right, we got to take a timeout. Mountaineers start warming up and enter the Alumni Hall. Suit up to win sweepstakes. One lucky winner will receive 2 tickets to the App State versus Louisiana men's basketball game on February 17th. The Coach Kerns autographed basketball and will step on the court during halftime for their chance to win $1,000. Go to alumnihall.com and pick App State to enter. We'll continue our conversation with Angel Elderkin right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues from Learfield.
Triple T Pumping of the High Country with the highest quality septic pumping for more than 20 years. Triple T Pumping services Watauga, Ashe, and Avery County and specializes in both residential and commercial septic and grease pumping and porta-john rentals. Triple T also has restroom trailers to rent out for special events. To learn more about all of Triple T's pumping services and to get on their schedule, make sure to visit TripleTpumping.com or by giving them a call at 828-262-5745. Triple T Pumping's proud partner of App State Athletics.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
We'll have more Mountaineer Talk right after these local messages on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
You, nature lover. Ever heard of us? We're Boone, North Carolina. High up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, with vistas that go on forever. Adventure that never stops, and challenges you've yet to try. We've got every outdoor pursuit you can imagine and cozy lodging. Explore Boone.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Continuing our conversation now with head coach Angel Elderkin. And Coach, let's look back briefly at this past week. A couple of challenging opponents on the road. And it seemed like rebounding, which had been a strength for your team this season, took a little bit of a step back. What was your analysis from those two games? And knowing that you're right back on the road again this week, what are the adjustments? What's been the focus in practice since?
Yeah, you know, taking a deep dive into the film, I obviously wasn't very happy on both games being out-rebounded by 20. And something that we've been really good, we've been great nationally. And so I had to go back and through the film and just kind of like make like an edit of do your job. We just didn't do our job. For whatever reason, I can give our opponents credit for things that they did to limit Faith in the games, but I can't give them a ton of credit when it came to just blocking us out. We just didn't go to the backboard. And so that will be a point of emphasis for our next game to make sure that we get those extra possessions that we've been getting. We had been averaging 14. And then just really being physical and tough. We knew going into the stretch of Old Dominion and JMU that they were going to be probably the two most physical teams in the league. And you try to talk about it, but until you experience it, I definitely think the next time they come to Boone and we get another matchup, I think our team will be much better in the second time.
Rylan Moffitt scored a career-high 16 points in the ballgame on Saturday. She was scoreless on Thursday. What did you see out of her? Was there any extra motivation, or was it just kind of the nature of those games and how those matchups played out?
No, she was super locked in, but JMU's game plan was to not let Faith Alston beat them. And so anytime Faith came off the ball screen, they doubled her, and they left Rylan. They basically, and the coach said in his post-game press conference that the other kids were going to have to beat him, and if they did, he would have tipped his cap. And so Rylan was the beneficiary of a lot of just really good passes from Faith, and she finished. But I really thought she had a really great game, and she's known for her rebounding, but she really impacted us in scoring.
You talk about the atmosphere at James Madison and 4,000 fans coming out to that ball game. We've got LSU on the TV right here. They had College Game Day and set a women's basketball television record out rating an NBA game. You've been around this game a long time. How exciting is it just to see the way the women's game is taken off, whether it be with attendance or viewership or participation?
Yeah, that LSU South Carolina game was amazing. Just the atmosphere, and they talk about Kim Mulkey all the time and her return on investment and what she's done. I mean, I coached at LSU and never coached in a sold-out arena, and then obviously we play at JMU, and I thought their atmosphere was electric. And then we get on the bus, and it was so great for me in that moment because I'm in JMU and I'm like, oh my God, like, how do we replicate this? Well, then we turn on the TV on the bus, and I'm like, because our men's team they're replicating it, and they got more fans in Boone than they did at James Madison, and I just think that is amazing for us at App. Like, I was really inspired by our fan base coming out to support our men's team, just being at JMU and like feeling like poor me, like, how are we going to beat this? And then knowing that our men did it and that it can be done. You got to win, you got to get the fouling, and you just got to get out there and you got to get students. I mean, the student section, how amazing was it? I wasn't there, we watched it, but it looked absolutely amazing.
What's your point? It can be done, and it can be done on the women's side as well, and so we encourage everyone to come out, the women's team back at home week after next, and for a midweek game, and then you guys are right back on the road for the Sun Belt MAC Challenge. But certainly a stretch run at home this season. And, Coach, best of luck moving forward. I know you've got a challenging road ahead, but best of luck to you as you take on Marshall this week and then continue on Saturday at Coastal.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, Angel Elderkin joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. We'll come back and wrap up the show right after this. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues next from Learfield.
You've already come to know as the home of compassionate and high-quality care. Now, with the opening of our $38 million cancer center this fall and a new 6-story patient tower next fall, UNC Health Blue Ridge has become the standard for growth and innovation. The tower project on our Morganton campus will have advanced critical care patient rooms and a rooftop helipad. UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward for the mountain region. Visit us at unchealthblueridge.org to learn more.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
Come join us for the best dining experience in Boone at The Beacon. Whether you're looking for a special place to mark an important milestone or just a casual meetup with friends, we've got you covered. Our menu is purposefully created to feature local and seasonal ingredients, artisan cocktails, and the best cornbread in town. Keep up with our weekly live music schedule, rotating menus, and other fun events and happenings by visiting BooneBeacon.com or by following us on Instagram. The Beacon is a proud partner of App State Athletics.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts in sports and in life. At Blue Ridge Energy, we share the same commitment to excellence as the Appalachian State men's and women's basketball teams. That's why we'll never stop working to provide the energy solutions your family needs and the community deserves. Blue Ridge Energy is proud to be part of the community, proud to be part of App Nation, and proud to partner with App State. Together, we're powering a brighter future. Go Mountaineers!
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. We're wrapping up the show here on this Monday evening, and we know you've enjoyed your time here at River Street Ale House, but make sure you also check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for a great dining experience. Lunch, dinner, and late night, they have 19 flat-screen TVs for you to catch the game and also boast the largest outdoor dining area in the high country, so make sure you stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock on your next trip to the high country. Again, the women's team on the road this week. They're at Marshall on Wednesday night, playing that Wednesday-Saturday series this week, and then closing out the week at Coastal Carolina. The men on the road as well. They're at Georgia State on Thursday night, and then they close out the weekend at Georgia Southern on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. Thanks to Matty Yates here at River Street Ale House and to Alex Francis back inside our Learfield studios. If you missed any of the show, it's available tomorrow in podcast form. Thanks again. I'm Matt Present. We'll see you next week for Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge here on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.